What is going on, guys? Fighting Game Selectors here. We are back again today to talk about some Street Fighter 6. I know a lot of you guys love Street Fighter 6 news, and I have to get one of the most technical analysis guy on the block of YouTube, Brian F. Brian Franklin. What is good, bro?
That is what the F stands for. How did you know? Yeah. Exposing my dark secrets here. I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. It's been a while, back again, 2024.
Yeah, and it's a big year because it's a big EVO. I feel like the first EVO for Street Fighter 6, it's super exciting because it's brand new, and it was like an interesting time in the game's life cycle because it was like right away, like a few months after release and brand new. But now we know about the meta a little bit. We got the big patch. Things are shaking up, so I feel like we have even bigger expectations. At least I do. For this EVO, so it's really exciting right now.
This might be the first EVO where like everybody kind of got their feet wet in the game, but now the way the balance is shaking up, like there's a lot of variety characters. I don't know who is going to be winning anything. Remember there's a lot of characters that were trash last patch, and in this patch they've been dominating. Let's say for a region, Japan. Just throwing it out there. But
who are you talking about in Japan? What character could you possibly be talking about?
Is it Zangief? Yeah, I don't know, man.
It sounds familiar. I don't know. It's been a long time since I've heard that name. Starts with a Z, ends with an F.
Yeah, dude, since SF4, that was like what, 15 years ago.
I mean, 2017, he did some work, some Zangief. I think it was CEO. If I remember correctly, CEO 2017, Season 2 of Street Fighter 5. That was like the last time Geef was like really good, and Snake Eyes won CEO. And then Itabashi made top 8 at EVO that year, actually, with Zangief. And so Zangief was really good that season. And then since that moment in Street Fighter 5 Season 2, he was just like more and more downhill. And then V-Shift came out, which was like an anti-grappler mechanic, and he went even more downhill than Season 1 of Street Fighter 6. He was not good. But he's definitely back.
Yeah, he back sharp.
Back in a big way.
Sharp. He was not missing any leg days. Let me tell you that.
Mm-hmm.
So now
he was squatting up, getting ready this whole time. And Kobayan, he showed how much work he can do, but he's not going to EVO.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if we're talking about him because he just won Topanga League in like dominating fashion, and he only dropped 2 sets the whole time. And that was in the pool stages. And during the finals, with all the best players who qualified, he didn't drop any sets whatsoever. So he beat the best of the best in Japan first to 7 sets. But not making it to EVO. So will we see Zangief dominating? I don't know.
We're jumping into the predictions right now. So, which character do you think right now is going to do best? Character.
It's funny because the debate is already all over Twitter right now. I think the worst Shoto is going to be doing the best
I know.
At EVO. In terms of raw numbers, Ken is just, I think he's just such a solid tournament pick. I think he's a little bit toned down this patch, but he didn't receive any significant, meaningful nerfs, unlike Luke, who I think actually got significant nerfs. And I think his base game plan is extremely simple and effective, and to me, that's the number one most valuable thing, especially in a game like Street Fighter 6, which is very explosive, and you can die really quick for making mistakes. I think stability, ease of access to strong tools, and a core game plan, I think that's key, and I think Ken still has that. So there's a lot of good Ken players who are looking really sharp right now. Tokido said, nope, I'm not playing Akuma. Ken is too solid and too straightforward. Angry Bird kind of had a similar comment about him, and we just saw Angry Bird winning, what was it, DreamHack? Was that a DreamHack? The mix-up, the mix-up, the Esports World Cup qualifier. So I think we're going to see a lot of Kens doing some work.
But I think Guile has a high chance of winning this season.
Okay.
There may not be a lot of Guile players, but I feel like Guile, he is just, his game plan is just so strong and how simple it is, no matter, even if you find little ways to kind of mitigate his game plan, they're going to do it anyway, right? And he has various ways of doing it, right? It's like Sonic Boom, okay, Sonic Boom, right? Sonic Boom, oh, I'm a perfect parry the Sonic Boom and I'm a jump, right? Oh, okay, cool. He just throws Sonic Boom, you whiff jab, or you jump, flash kick. You know what I mean? A lot of the things to kind of deal with how his core gameplay is he don't really have to turn it off. And Knuckle Dude has been playing very great as of late. And,
right. And Higuchi's doing decent as well in Japan. And then there's even Rain Pro, who's another top level guy. I think those are the big four I can think of in terms of carrying the Guile mantle. And I totally agree with you about his playstyle. It's super powerful. The fact that he can be like anti Street Fighter 6, sort of like JP is.
Yeah.
It still is, not as much. And, JP is definitely a bit weaker this patch.
More volatile.
But they operate. Yeah, it's more volatile for JP with the anti-air nerf, I feel like. Guile didn't receive that, so he still has flash kick, right? He still has ways to shut down the offensive approach. And I think that's super strong in this game. Being like, nope, listen, I know the meta is rush down and throw loops and all that, but it's a character that's a big stop sign. But I think the one downside, like you mentioned, just not that many people play him.
Now, let's talk about a character that is very strong, that everybody talks about, but are going to do the worst at EVO. What character do you think is going to do the worst at EVO, but everybody talks about how strong he is? Or is there?
If you want, yeah, I guess if you're talking about like if they're strong, I have options for ones that I don't think are that strong that I think will do bad, but I guess that's more exciting. Which ones are strong but will do bad? I mean, I guess we opened with Zangief. I gotta say Zangief because just based on numbers, right? Like Kobayan is the guy who's shown to be the best Geef in the world right now. I mean, is Snake Eyes even attending?
I don't even know. I don't even know.
I have the attendees list. Let me fact check this right.
I actually don't
real
think he's
quick.
Going.
I don't see him in the registered attendees list, so that's another big representative of Zangief not going. So we have Itabashi, at least he's going. So it's kind of resting on like his shoulders. There's also Dr. Danny Pham, I think a really underrated Zangief from the West Coast.
Very strong.
He hasn't quite had like these big explosive moments, but I've seen him take sets off some of the world's best off stream. Like he always has those like big matches that don't make it to stream, and he's eliminating people's favorite players off stream. But there's just not that many. So if Itabashi doesn't have the run, we might not see too much Zangief representation. I think he'll be a menace in pools and maybe the top 256 here and there. There'll be some upsets with him, but it's hard to see a world where there's like a bunch of them in top 32, top 64.
Can you imagine
right
we had 8 Geef?
I mean, if Snake Eyes and Kobayan wanted to show up, I don't know. Maybe we could have a couple in there. But yeah, there's just the numbers game is against him right now. Even though I think Zangief is very good this patch.
Yeah, I can see. Honestly, that was the same character I was thinking. I was like, the reason why I don't think so too is because I mentioned Guile as the best, but I think all of the representatives are all going.
But Itabashi's done it before. He's gone super far at EVO. Like I mentioned before, he's in top 8 before with Zangief. He got second place at Capcom Cup with Abigail. So he likes to fly to Vegas. That was also in Vegas too. 2018, he went to Grand Finals in Capcom Cup, also in Vegas. So I don't know. That guy likes to pack his doohickey of a controller and fly around the world and gamble big in Vegas. Yeah. I don't know if you've seen his controller. Have you seen that? It looks like a modified. Post video, you got to look at it. It looks like a modified NES with like weird geometric shapes, buttons on odd angles and weird places. It is the most bizarre looking thing I've ever seen.
That's what he's playing on? Now, this is another one that I think it's going to be really heavy. What players do you think is going to make top 6?
Okay, yeah. First of all, this question's impossible.
I know. But if you had,
and that's why
if you could choose 3 characters, I choose. If you choose 3 players, I choose 3 players.
Well, I mean, that makes it even harder, right?
Yeah,
the problem is there's too many names, but that's why it's fun to talk about. I'm going to throw out the ones that I think have a chance and that I would think would be cool to see. My first pick is going to be Momochi because, I've been playing Ed lately, and I think Momochi's Ed is the best in the world, and the way he's taking that character to another level is really beautiful to see. And he's landing the dream combos, he called it. I called them desyncs once upon a time. The new level 2 conversions, he lands them every time. Super efficient with the combo conversions, and it's super nasty to see.
How hard is that?
I think it would be really cool. It's decently hard. The first interaction is like 2-frame window, manually time this special move to pull them out of the level 2. And then based on the screen positioning and what you want to go for, you have to manually time or micro walk different parts of the combo. So it's like not that hard execution wise if you know what you want to do, but it's more about like optimizing the resource management, spacing, situational awareness. Doing that all consistently, very hard.
What else you got? You got 2 more.
My next one's going to be Kakadu.
He is stable.
He's so consistent, and I think I've come to respect his skill even more in recent weeks since the patch because, JP definitely still a good character, but, most of the top-level JPs are dropping him right now because he doesn't seem to be as good of a solo main character anymore, right? Even DCQ We got second place at CEO. He's talking about, not solo maining JP anymore.
He,
Not enough. And so since then, Kakadu, you might expect him. He was the JP dude, right? That's the guy I watched to learn everything, to steal all his tech. You might have expected him to struggle, but he picked up Akuma, became like rank 1 in the world on CFN overnight, went to Topanga League, dominated his group stages, went really far. I think he was the second ranked player behind Kobion in the Topanga finals, and he added Bison to his squad as well. So he's playing JP, Akuma, and Bison, mostly Akuma and Bison, and just beating the best in Japan with these DLC characters like just weeks after they release. So it really paints the picture of how strong he is, not just at as being a character specialist, but just at the game. And then second place at EVO Japan, top 8 at the EVO Vegas in 2023. He's just been consistent for so long, and now doing it with multiple characters and a new patch as well just shows his adaptability and just overall strength of the game. So I love the gameplay he brings. I'm also a fanboy ever since he picked up JP like that. So I'm rooting for Kakadu, and I think he has a good chance to go really far.
That is a very strong second. All right, what's your third?
I'm a fanboy. Every time we get on here and we talk about Street Fighter, I bring him up. And I think it would be sick to see a back-to-back championship. I'm going Mena RD.
Mena RD.
Mena RD, I would love to see. Like, he hasn't been so dominant that it's gotten boring for me yet, right? Like, to me, I kind of love... What are you going to say?
I said it's funny because he hasn't been dominating, but he's been close to first place every time.
Yes. So, and since EVO Japan, he's had some flubs for Mena RD standards, I should say. He's still been doing really good, but like for him, not getting first is a flub almost, right? Which is crazy to say. But like CEO, I think he got like 9th or something. He got double jeopardy by Just a Kid and Nephew's juries. And then he hasn't been quite closing out all the online tournament circuits. He's been dropping a few tournaments, getting second place here and there to like some Boost, Punk, right? But he's always in the mix. He's always present and doing really strong. And I think he just always has that X factor. I think in the most high stress situations, in the most competitive moments, Mena RD has the mental edge over pretty much the entire planet, is how I look at it. That to me is his greatest strength, is not being scared when the lights are too bright. And so I think it would be, this is also kind of my fan fiction. I would love to see someone win EVO Japan and win EVO Vegas in 1 year, because I think that would just be like a sick story. I love to see dominant players maintain a decent amount of reign of dominance and everyone else trying to topple them. I think that's always a cool storyline. That's always a cool
story arc,
Yes. Some people hate to see the same people succeed over and over. I think there's a point where it gets boring, but I also like having like a dominant figure that everyone's trying to take out. So I kind of want Mena RD to show people that he still has that after winning EVO Japan, second place at EVO Vegas. And I think he has a good shot. I think they nerfed Blanca and Luke decently. I think they're both really strong. I still think Blanca's really strong, but they did nerf his characters to a bit, and I think he's been adapting to that new meta. But I think he has a good chance of doing it all just based on his X factor.
And I'm gonna go ahead and drop 1 and 2. And the only reason why I'm dropping 1 and 2 together right now is because their work ethic and just their training resume has just been like outstanding. I think the Birds, man. I think the Birds can,
of course.
I think both of them can make. I think both of them. I think Big Bird is a fantastic player, but I just think that Marissa was just not at his standards. I think he made it work.
That's very true. I thought Marissa was a really odd pick for him because he burst into the scene when he was like, I think 13 years old. Yeah, he playing against Cien in that Street Fighter 4 tournament.
Yeah, playing Guy. Yeah.
Playing Guy. One of the best guys I'd ever seen. I don't remember if he won the tournament or it took Cien to like a really like last round situation. It was a really big surprise at the time, like 2014, 2013. Soon after Cien had won EVO and all that, it was doing like a world tour. And since then, he's kind of been like kind of a rushdown guy, right?
Yeah.
The guy in Street Fighter 4, Rashid in Street Fighter 5. He's always kind of played that high octane, mixed, slippery sort of play style. And Rashid fits that perfectly. And Marissa is just not that.
Yeah, Marissa.
he was an amazing Marissa. But, I mean, you could even see in the way he expressed his thoughts about the character, he doubted Marissa for a long time. He mentioned about the issues of, like, first to two with this character when people are willing to take risks and you're playing, like, a big body with slower, weaker defense, right? Not as explosive, but not in terms of getting her offense started. Explosive in damage, right? Whereas a character like Rashid, the mobility, the explosiveness in terms of establishing their own offense and getting their turn going. Not as much damage per interaction, nowhere near close, but just like controlling the pace of the game and controlling the screen. When he finally switched over to Rashid,
He
the
won.
results started racking
He
in. He won his first big major in a while. Yeah, winning DreamHack. What was it? Sweden? DreamHack Sweden. So yeah, I think he's found confidence, and that's the biggest thing. First to two is brutal, and I think Rashid is a much better first to two character.
Yeah,
by far. So I think it's a smart pick. Just zoomed out, looking at the meta, I think Rashid's a smart pick, and then zooming into the soul, I feel like if you feel confident in your pick, that's so important.
Yes.
So based on what he's expressed on Twitter, he seems so much more confident in this Rashid pick, and that's scary going into EVO for everybody else.
Yeah, man. You know, he's been posting more pictures about his workout routine and stuff. Like, ever since you play Rashid, man, you know, you've been happier on it.
Yeah, the delts got a little more wider, a little more capped. I don't know. It's like, are you bulking or cutting? Man?
Yeah, man. I'm like, damn, bro.
He has the gym intimidation factor too. It's kind of broken.
Yeah, right. Like, this is something that I'm just manifesting, but I think this is Big Bird's big time. This is his time. I think this year he's gonna. I think he is going to showcase why he is so strong of a player. So I got him. And my third pick, last but not least, man. And you know, I'm always gonna say, man, textbook always wins. Punk the God, bro. Punk.
Yes, sir.
Punk,
yes, sir.
Mr. Textbook, Mr. Reading Rainbow himself, dog. Every time a new character come out, let's play a character. Let's play with this character, right? And
it doesn't even make sense.
Yeah, it's crazy, right?
It doesn't even make sense.
Yeah.
Its ability to pick up new characters
and just be so strong with it. And I truly believe that when he has that moment when Punk is not really focusing on like the circumstances that he's in, and he's just locked in on like, I want to win. He always showed up. Like, he's always showing up. Like, even when he was at CEO, man, he was like, man, all I wanted was a belt. And you know what he did? He got the belt.
He got the belt.
He got the belt. You know, like, that's all he cared about. He's like, man, I just want a belt, bro. And all these guys are godlike. I just want a belt. And he showcased himself fantastic. And like I said, man, he's one of the most best players to play Street Fighter, you know, till this day, you know. So
absolutely,
that is my pick for
that's a good pick. That's a good, and I feel like a theme here is, I think these are all players that we're in a rut almost, right?
Yeah.
Like, I think Punk was one of the most consistent Street Fighter 6 players in season 1, but he didn't have that big international win. And then, you know, he got to the LCQ at the end of the season, dominated everybody on the way there, beat Tokido, beat a lot of demons along his way, and then kind of fell apart for Punk standards, and I guess Problem X to the end, right? And so, like, since then, we haven't seen Punk win something with major international competition in attendance in quite some time, you know, like which is something he's done regularly in the past. Yes. Right? Yes. That was him winning super international majors was like every day for a while, right? It was like every other month he was taking home gold at a major of that scale. And so him getting that CEO win, it was the first time in a while he's done that. And it's just a big reminder, like, hey, he's that dude. He's that good. And once again, that was leading right up to EVO. That was CEO has always traditionally been like the preview event for EVO. And whoever does good at CEO is generally expected to do really well at EVO. So him winning that is huge. And I think that's also a huge confidence boost for him.
Yes.
And I think if he can be mentally in the zone, I think he beats everybody in the world.
Yes.
He's definitely
untouchable.
Raw talent #1 on the world, I think.
Yeah.
So it's all about if he can hone in on that day. Yeah. So I definitely think any day is a safe bet on Punk, right? Like he a safe bet to go far. #1, it's going to be up to him, and I think he can do it. But safe bet to go far for sure.
Do you have any final thoughts on this? Who you think is going to win after all of this?
So after all this discussion, my biggest thing first of all, it's impossible to pick a winner. But if I have to, right, after all this discussion, the #1 thing I have to go with is not like technical skill or fundamentals or whatever kind of in-game metric you want to go by, because all these dudes are that good. To me, I think at the end of the day, if I have to pull, you know, a card out of a hat, and if I had to pick somebody, I'm going to go with who I feel like is the mentally the most prepared to be in a high-pressure situation, and I still always feel like that's Mena RD.
Yep.
That's just what I got to go for. I think technical-wise, results-wise, he's not even the best pick right now. That might be any one of these other players, but I just think
raw fighting spirit is always Mena RD. That's the thing that makes Mena RD such a good player. I know he knows it, but like his fighting spirit is what makes him such a good player. It's that he fights, bro. You know, like he be fighting in those trenches, bro. I have to go my pick, man. because I already told you, man. Like Big Bird, like has been holding down. I got Big Bird, bro.
All right, let's see. Big Bird, Mena RD, Grand Finals. That'd be a good one.
Yeah, dude. Like,
that'd be a sick one for sure.
Honestly, I think Punk has Big Bird's numbers, but if they dodge each other, I think Big Bird. Will have to fight Mena RD, and he'll have to show himself why he's gonna be the EVO champion this year. And
that's a huge thing too. The paths, right? Because for a while, Mena RD was like the arch nemesis to Punk, but Punk recently also got a win over Mena RD for the first time in like forever over his Blanca and one of the recent online major tournaments, essentially in NA. So like this whole A beats B, B beats C, C beats A thing, like it's also evolving right now too. So man, you can't. It's gonna be so. It's gonna be exciting, but it's so hard to call.
Yeah.
Any one of these players could win.
Yeah.
Or someone else we didn't even mention at all. I mean, that's also probably more likely.
For coming through and talking about this, I think this discussion is always fun. But where can they find you, Mr. Franklin?
You can find me Brian_F on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch. That's BRIAN_F. I like to play some Street Fighter 6, do content, try to level up, and share my journey with the people.
All right, awesome, man. And thank you so much, man. I hope to have you back here again to talk about some more amazing fighting games like Street Fighter. And thank you so much. Make sure you guys leave a like. Let me know in the comment section below who you think is going to win, how you feel about our top 6 predictions that we have in our mind, and who you guys want to add in that prediction. Go ahead and let me know in the comment section below. Thank you guys so much for always watching, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Peace.